a lisp, if you like have sweat pits while you're doing your live video, doesn't matter. You be you. It's gonna happen. Like, be yourself and be true and authentic to you. And if you do that, that is what's gonna make people resonate and be like, because a lot of the times, I mean, think about somebody, like I said before, think about somebody that you follow, that you really like through social media, a reality show, or whatever. What is it that resonates with you about them? Nobody resonates with somebody who's fake. Nobody resonates with somebody who tries to be a different way than they are. And you don't have to be outgoing or funny or loud or whatever. Trust me, people who are loud, they don't want to be loud. Like, the grass is always greener, right? I want to be quiet. I don't want to talk, but I can't help it. It just comes out. Okay? So, and that's okay, and it's going to resonate with some people. And then I watch somebody who is so, like, professional and together and can think of the words, and I'm like, I want to be like you, right? So you be yourself. You do you, and that is what's going to resonate with people. Okay, being consistent. How many of you guys watch Oprah? What in the world? Okay, can I not see right? Raise your hands high for Oprah. Okay, there we go. Okay, all right. How many of you guys loved Oprah? Okay, so why do we love her? Why do we love her? Because she's always there. 4 o'clock, ABC, she's in your living room every day. And you see her every single day. She never misses. She's always there for you. You know that she's going to be there. Being consistent is so huge. Oprah is all about being real. You've seen her cry. You've seen her laugh. You've seen her lose weight. You've seen her gain weight. And over and over and over, she's there every single day. So you cannot be a ghost on social media. You cannot. Because people will stop following you and they won't trust you because you're not consistent. So being consistent is so incredibly huge. If you take a hiatus, a day, a week, I'm sure a day's fine. But you're not consistent, then people aren't going to trust you. And they aren't going to be able to get to know you. And that is one of the most important things that we're trying to focus on here. All right, tip number 4, getting people to love you, is talk to your people. Okay, and this is where I want to talk about the Cenebiz app and something that I really love about it. And I feel like, okay, good. I really, really love this aspect of it, and I think it's so incredible. So I have a friend, and she's on my downline, and I was having really good success with Instagram. And she said, what are you doing different? And I'm like, gosh, I don't know, because I was really like seeing different results. So I sat and I thought about it and I thought, okay, I do know what I'm doing. I have been spending a lot of time talking with anybody who will listen. Usually that's my poor husband. He's like, one time, I just have to say this because it's true. One time I lost my voice. It was like the best 3 days of his life. He was like, and I was trying to whisper. He's like, I can't. Kind of kidding, but mostly serious. So I started really, really engaging and talking with my customers. So if somebody liked my post or somebody commented, it wasn't just a comment back. I would reach out to them and send them a message and say, hey, thanks so much for liking my post, or hey, thanks so much for following me. Tell me about yourself. Like, I love meeting new people. I love sharing new ideas, and it's so fun to make new friends around the country. What do you do? Where do you live? What do you do for work? Do you have kids? Like, fill me in. And it would always strike conversation. Everybody would write back, and everybody likes to talk about themselves. 100%. So they would write back, and then I would keep asking open-ended questions. Nothing to do with FlipSense, not trying to sell them something. Really, really, really just trying to talk to them and get to know them. And then I would move the conversation over as quickly as I could and without making it feel uncomfortable to Facebook. I would say, oh my gosh, my pinkies are numb right now. Like, I cannot message anymore. Do you have Facebook Messenger? I would love to be able to, voice message you. So I think we maybe all know this. I don't know. Voice message is so huge. Do not, like, if one thing you take away, do not send, what is it called? Text. Don't send flat text messages. Voice messages are so incredibly huge. So I had a situation just like this where a girl messaged me. I did this conversation with her. I brought her over to Facebook Messenger. I was just asking her questions about herself. Eventually I said, so have you tried LipSense before? And she's like, no, I haven't tried it, but I'm thinking about it. And, you know, kind of asked some questions, and we really just talked. And it wasn't about LipSense. It was, or even about Synergens. It was just talking in general. I added her to my Facebook group, and it wasn't a super long conversation, but it definitely took time on my part to do, and it's way easier to just not do, right? And the next day, I saw her jump on my live video, and by the end of the night, she messaged me and just said, okay, this is so weird, but, like, I feel like you're my friend. I feel like I know you, and, like, do you have room on your team for me? And I'm like, well, it's really full right now, but... So it really dawned on me that me talking with her, her hearing my voice, and just creating that conversation made her feel like she knew me and like we were friends. And I hadn't even talked to her about the opportunity at this point. So talk to your people. And when I say your people, I'm not necessarily speaking about your team. I'm talking about the people who you want to be your followers. Get to know them, and don't get to know them just like so that you can sell them something. It does take time, and it does take some investment. And one thing that I feel like I am not so great at, and this is why the Cinebiz app is so awesome, and I love this feature of it, is I am like a scatterbrain. Like, if my head was not attached, I would forget it 100% of the time. So for me, like, the way that I keep track of my recruits and customers that I need to follow up with is no bueno. Like, I need to have a better system. It's always been in the notes section of my phone. So in the Cinebiz app, if you go down towards the bottom middle, there is a button called Contacts. And you can sync your contacts from your phone. It takes like not even 30 seconds, and boom, you have 200, 500 contacts in your phone, or in your Cinebiz app, right? The cool thing about this is when you have a new customer that you, or not even customer, sorry, somebody that just you reach out to on social media, right? You can save their name. Maybe you don't have their phone number and you don't want to ask for it because you don't want to make them feel weird. Save them, put in a false email, put in like nataliesprospects@gmail.com or something. Saves it into the Cinebiz app. Then there's a button at the top that's hot and cold. You can swipe it over to hot, and it automatically saves their information. Now, the thing that I like about that is there's a little button that you can click to add a note. So you can go in and you can say, oh, I talked to Molly today. This is the conversation that we had. I offered her the Synergens choice. She told me this, that, and the other, whatever. You save it, and then you can go into your hot contacts and go back and read it. I always think I'm going to remember. That's stupid. That never ever happens. Now, something that they are working to sync right now, which is like going to be my favorite thing, is there's a reminder section. It's not currently working, or maybe it is by this point, but you can set a reminder that then says, in 2 weeks, contact Molly. So it's basically what we've all wanted, which is a system to be able to keep track of your people. Another thing that's so cool about it, and I am going to have all of my girls do this from the get-go. You know how maybe some of you guys maybe some of you don't, but when you have a new distributor get started, a really great thing to do is say, make a list of 100 people that you know. Now, there's memory joggers and there's different things like that you can use, but people usually have a hard time coming up with 100 people. They're like, they can't come up with anybody, right? You sync your phone, you automatically have a lot of contacts. And guess what? It's not their email. It's not their messenger message. It's their cell phone. Like, that's the best you could get of all, right? So I encourage you guys to sync that. Sync up your contacts. That you now have this warm memory jogger of contacts, and you can go through, and if you've talked to somebody about the product or about the opportunity, and you know they're a no, you can swipe them over to cold. But if they have not said no, then they're not a no. Like, if they have not said no, I promise you, they're not a no, they're just a not yet, okay? So it's so great to be able to use that hot and cold contact, and I encourage you guys to use that with your girls from the very, very beginning. I remember when I starting to make a list, I for sure had a hard time coming up with 100 people. It's hard to think of it. And you can just think that and you're like, boom, this is where you can start. And I don't know about you guys, but I have people in my phone that I'm like, who is this? Wouldn't it be fun to just send them a message? Like, hey, what are you doing? See who it is, see what they say, you know? Okay. All right, tip number 5 is you have to have confidence. So regardless of how nervous I am coming up here and talking in front of all of you guys, thinking about like going to the bathroom, like all sorts of crazies, I have to be confident in me. I have to know that I know my stuff and I know what I'm doing and I'm going to do it. And that's how we have to be. We've got to be confident, and it's absolutely okay to fake it until you make it. But you can't rely on that forever. You're not going to be able to convert people to know you and like you and trust you and think that you're good at what you do if you're not good at what you do, right? So I don't know if you guys know this. If you do, awesome. In the Cinebiz app, there's a little, I don't know what it's called, audio maybe at the bottom, but it has trainings. They're like podcasts you can listen to in your car. So easy. You don't have to download anything. You just go straight to the app and you listen to the training. There's all sorts of trainings on there, and there's going to be more and more. And I threw out the idea, what do you guys think about it? And maybe if everybody cheers really loud, it'll be a good one, about having the webinars be posted directly to that. So you could be, right? So you could, and James said that that's for sure something they could do. So you don't have to, log in and download Adobe and all those things. Or even maybe the Maiden and Above call. You're like, oh, you missed the Maiden. I don't know if that would work, though, because maybe that it's available to everyone. I don't know. But you get the gist. There's a lot of good stuff, and there's a lot of good stuff coming as well that's going to be on there. So knowing your stuff is so important. You can't know it all right at first. This is a learn as you earn business, but you can't sit back and not be proactive about it. And I love that that's just right at our fingertips, and that we can use that to help build our businesses. Okay, engagement. Why is it important, and how do we do it? Okay, so in case any of you guys are falling asleep, I'm going to have you stand up. Not yet. Hold up. Ask you a question. How many of you guys, like, your favorite colors with LipSense are, like, the nudes and the lighter colors? If those are, like, your go-to, you love them, it's okay. You're not going to get shamed. How many? Nobody? Okay, stand up. Sorry. Stand up if those are your favorite. Like, those are your go-to, right? You're like, I love those, like, bold colors. Freak me out. Thank goodness for them. Okay, you like both too, but those are your favorite. Okay, so, go ahead and sit down. So how many of you guys are like, go bold or go home? Stand up. Okay, awesome. So obviously, okay, you can sit down. Shake it out. So obviously, there's a difference of opinion. Like, a majority of people, bolds are their favorites, right? And then some people, they like the lighter colors or the nudes, right? So my point behind this is to get people to be engaged in what you're talking about. You cannot just appeal to one audience. For instance, I got a message from a girl one time that said, I really think LipSense is so cool and I love the idea of it, but I just wish you guys sold reds. I'm like, we do. I had never posted a picture of me wearing red because I don't love the way red looks on me. But you guys, the obvious, fact of the matter is not everybody feels the same about what you feel. So just because I feel one way about something, and I think for sure people are going to like this is what they're going to think, and not necessarily about LipSense colors. I'm talking about anything that you talk with in social media. You have to know what to talk about, and you have to do that by getting to know the people in your group. Message them. Do you know the people in your group?